I have to talk about one very narrow point of ISI's emergence. Dr. Aishwarya mentioned about that. That is how this violent tradition may become more violent if it has got very deadly tool of terror. And that tool of terror is weapons of mass destruction. So I'm just going to discuss about that. I'm going to raise some questions. Is ISI really interested? Dr. Aishwarya raised some ideological point of ISI existence. Does its ideology permit to acquire weapons of mass destruction? When we were discussing about Al Qaeda's desire or inclination to acquire weapons of mass destruction, many argued Islam doesn't permit. Again, comes the question: what all Islam does? Islam doesn't permit to acquire weapons of mass destruction. But some of the leaders of Al Qaeda, like the most famous leader, Osama bin Laden, was very categorical. It wanted to acquire weapons of mass destruction because it would increase its lethality. His successor, Jawahir, also made it very clear that Al Qaeda is interested in acquiring weapons of mass destruction. So, is ISI interested in acquiring weapons of mass destruction? Syria, the Syrian authorities seized a laptop of one of the functionaries of ISIS. And this laptop had thousands of documents. And after those documents were read, and it was very clear that ISI is not just interested in Saturn, it is very much interested in profit. It is interested in what Dr. Aishwarya talked about, a world where we live in a world where you have to have very physical authority to carry forward the task. And for that task, they don't have any ideological inhibition in acquiring weapons of mass destruction. So there is no ideological problem for ISIS to acquire. So do they have resources? This is the second question which comes. Maruf talked about funding, how they had looted some banks, how they had acquired oil fields, and they had what resources. So these are resources that are available to them. But the real issue is how realistic is the scenario to have acquisition of technological capability for developing weapons of mass destruction. For a decade and a half, we have been discussing about can, quote unquote, generally again contested, Islamic terrorists acquire weapons of mass destruction. And the entire world is discussing. It is no longer confined to the think tanks or universities or policy communities of Western countries. Before 2000, to say precisely, 9/11, generally it was a remote possibility discussed by United States, at times by Canada, and some of the European countries, UK. But after 9/11 and after the turmoil in Pakistan, this is being considered a real possible reality. So we have to discuss about that. So generally, what is the general perception? The perception is that terrorists may have difficulties in acquiring nuclear weapons, full-fledged nuclear weapons, but they can have radiological weapons, they can have chemical weapons, while biological weapons is machine, but still it is cheaper to acquire and it's easier to acquire. So again, I am coming to ISIS. I will move very fast. First, famous Mosul district, the downfall of Mosul. And there was a statement given by the Iraqi ambassador to the United Nations. And the ambassador said that 40 kilograms of uranium is missing. It really alarmed the world. All started seeing the possibility. And IAEA also jumped in the fray. And IAEA came out with the conclusion that it was a very low grade uranium. But it was contested by others. And University of Mosul University started contesting, and one of the inspectors, or IAEA inspector, his name was George Hill. He also came out with some description, and that description indicated that the organization may have acquired uranium. It may not be enriched uranium, which can be easily converted into nuclear weapons. But it had no great uranium, I would again say. All the description which has come, let's say that it is natural uranium, UO, which is generally used in the reactor. So it may not be full project weapon, but there are other materials, and one of the British, like we are just discussing, they are recruiting from different countries. And one of the reports from the United Kingdom revealed that it had got some materials which may be used in conventional weapons to make it dirty bomb. So that possibility is very much there. And again, there could be contestation there also. Second was that Humayun Tariq was from United Kingdom, and he was working with them. Then my second issue was about biological weapons. Could they do it? There were three leaders gave three different versions. Again, this phenomenon which we are trying to understand is quite complicated. One was given by US Homeland Secretary. He said we don't have any credible evidence to say to assure that ISIS can really make biological weapons. But CIA in one of its leaked classified reports mentioned that it has got some mobile systems which is very difficult to detect, and that has got some old time Iraq regimes, Saddam's regimes, rudimentary system, which may be easily converted. Again, second was by giving the reach to acquire these three weapons of mass destruction. So again, within every country there was contradiction. One political leadership is saying that it is not possible, then the professional or the security agency saying no, it is possible. At one time, security agency not possible, the security agency is saying. So this is happening. Now I come to the third point, because I have my limited. How many minutes? Oh, it's still 7 minutes. Okay. Then I just move to the chemical weapons portion. Again, here we talked about United States, the role of United States, how they have messed up. One of the leadership said that one of our allies, Turkey basically patronized ISIS, and now we have to face what is happening now. The same way, when George Bush attacked Iraq, and at that time, the general left to the center understanding was it was an unnecessary attack, there was no weapons of mass destruction. But last year, one of the left to the center, newspaper New York Times, came out with a big report. And that report says no, some abandoned chemical weapons existed, and Iraqi soldiers were affected by that. This corroding system was just left. And those corroding systems, which were not dismantled, were not disposed of, have been captured by these ISIS people. And now this question is coming, can they use it? This corroding system, can they use it? Yes, very much. Now they are coming out with this opinion, they're coming out with this view that yes, this corroding system, it can be reused. Some of the chemicals which can be utilized by ISIS. And this danger has been highlighted by one of the best Middle East analysts, George Rosenberg, in his book Third Target. And in Third Target, he said that I am writing a fiction, but this fiction is also painting a scenario. And this scenario all these scenarios must be taken seriously, even if it is in the fictional form. But you have to take it seriously. So this is the situation. So the final assessment in the final assessment I can say that even if they are not using all the weapons of mass destruction, but they are not against acquiring it. And they may gradually, they are not, say 70,000 kilometers, they have been 7,000 square kilometers. If they continue to hold their territory, if they continue to believe their caliphate, And if they continue to have the concept of state, it is just not Islamic terrorist group. They are not just non-actor, non-state actor. They are also claiming to have a state, and then they will be seriously pursuing these weapons of mass destruction acquisition, and then it will become really deadly and dangerous. Once they do it, they have got capability, they have got technology, everything they have got. So then the question is coming: what will happen to there? For us, again, it's a matter of curiosity. It's we are saying, okay, it is happening in some remote region, West Asia or Middle East, but we should not be that complacent. As the map shows that north and western part of India is figuring in their map. So it's a problem for us also. And we must join the forces. Join the forces which are fighting this ISIS. We have OPCW working for that. We have United Nations working for that. IEAB working for that. So we must work with them. And we have attended all the 3 nuclear security summits. And the focus of the nuclear security summit is to just attack when nuclear terrorism happening. So we have to work with international organizations and all the forces which may counter ISIS. Because we should not assume that it will not harm us because we have got it. Because it's Kashmir, repeatedly they are talking about Kashmir, right? Somehow it was not talked about.